Before we look at his performance last weekend and analyse that, what about Mourinho's method of managing big-name players? Because you were there at Chelsea. How did he handle the big characters involved?
Well, in the past, he's never had a problem. And I think it's more to do with the type of person it is. So in a different generation of players, so your John Terrys, your Frank Lampards, Ashley Coles and so on, Didier Drogba, those guys could handle the criticism. They could handle, the straight in your face, telling you it just wasn't good enough and pulling you, telling you to pull your socks up. There is that newer generation of player that finds that really difficult to take criticism. The millennial player. Yeah, absolutely. And I experienced it at Chelsea because I still had off the back of the likes of Lampard and Terry there, and Drogba came back, and they were sort of split. There was a portion of the change room that just didn't like being criticised, didn't like being told straight up how it was. They wanted a bit of icing around it rather than just straight up how it was.
And I think that's a big problem. I see that a lot, obviously, in academy football now as well. You go around, managers, coaches, they're scared to really have a go at players and dig people out, and that's privately within the dressing room, because a lot of these players, they shrink. You talk to senior players now, sort of, at clubs, and they go, "Oh yeah, if the manager said something," it's almost like the players want to cry and burst into tears. You have all this issue, Mark, with Mourinho falling out with players. I don't see that from the outside when Matic goes and re-signs for him. Willian wants to go and sign for him. I mean, you worked with him. Were there any particular spats that you thought actually that Mourinho's out of order? Because from the outside, I still think he's a fantastic coach, manager.
No, I actually don't. I mean, there was a couple of occasions where he obviously is so caught up in the emotions that he just lets fly. I mean, I've seen him once kick a table in a change room.
But we have to remember, Fergie threw a boot at Beckham.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That wasn't an issue.
But today, that's kind of almost not allowed to happen. Whereas back then, that was actually, it's very tame. And I for one went, right, this guy is trying to get you on your toes, trying to really give you a kick up the backside, and showing you how much it means to play at this great club. So for a lot of these guys, all they've ever been told, like Mills was saying there, all throughout their careers, how wonderful they are and what they're doing so well, and brushing over the parts of their game where they need to improve on.
On that note, sorry, but how long do you expect him to stay if he's going to be like this and players are going to get younger?
That's the problem, I suppose, is it comes to a point where if the more players that he upsets, the more it becomes a player power against the manager. And I think at Chelsea at the end, it became a bit of that. Yeah. Jose Mourinho feeling that he lost the dressing room, the club knowing that he had, and it was time for him to move on. And at United, we're not anywhere near that, because I think he's still got a good mixture of players there that are a bit older generation and can handle those criticisms. Obviously, Paul Pogba is a unique one, a unique case, and it's interesting to see how that's playing out at the moment openly in the media.
Okay, that's what it comes down to. It's about who is bigger than the football club at the moment, who is the most important. A quick example, Marcelo Bielsa, unbelievably the godfather of coaching when he talked to a lot of managers, went into Leeds United, has changed the way that they play, but he is so far and away above all those players and has the respect. He took those players to pick up litter for 3 hours. He said, look, this is what the average fan costs. 3 hours work is what it costs for a ticket, so we're going to pick up litter for 3 hours. So you have an understanding of what it means to the fans. You imagine a Mourinho or a Guardiola Emery trying to do that, or Guardiola trying to do that with with superstar players. They're not going to do it, and this is the big problem. Social media, money, all these types of things has changed the modern day player, and they have a lot more influence and a lot more power now.